guys, Shadow-san here. Welcome back to my channel. Hope all are doing well. I wanted to talk to you guys today a little bit about my Book of Shadows and other magical texts. So, I keep most of my stuff electronically for the most part. It just depends on what exactly I'm trying to keep track of. So as far as my, grimoire is concerned, I keep that electronically. Eventually I want to make a hard copy, but I don't have enough paper around to keep a hard copy in because I write mine in Braille. Like, I take it really old school and actually write it in Braille because I feel like my grimoire is a very permanent type of text where I'm keeping a lot of information and instructions and things of that nature, whereas things like my book of mirrors or my mirror book is something more personal that I feel more comfortable storing electronically. I also feel that my Book of Shadows, in particular, because I feel like the Book of Shadows for me, and I talked about this on my blog before, but for me, I make a distinction just because I feel like, and this is just what I've researched and what I've come to conclude for myself anyway, I feel like a Book of Shadows is very personal, and it has that sort of a journal type of vibe. I feel like you can incorporate more things, not just spells in it, whereas like the grimoire is more of a magical text book, if you will, where you have more information like how-to instructions on, say, creating a magic circle or creating a spell for a specific thing, and instructions on how to do that, step-by-step kind of how-to guides. And currently my Book of Shadows is still in progress. So my Book of Shadows is primarily going to have a lot of information about some dreams, a little bit of dream diary stuff in it, so to speak. Also more rituals, deities, spirits, which the grimoire could also include that, but I know I'm going on this crazy tangent before I share everything, but I kind of want to get some more definitional or defining everything prior to sharing anything. So I know that most grimoires that I've seen examples of in books, I've seen a lot of like references to step-by-step instructions, like I say, on how to cast a particular spell, or how, or magical timing, or correspondences, or other things of that nature. So without further ado, though, I do want to share my book with you. I keep my Book of Shadows in hard copy because I lost my grimoire, and that I just had a couple years ago because of a flash drive incident, and I lost my Book of Shadows at the same time because I was keeping them on the same drive. So I keep my stuff in electronic form, like I said, for the most part, the only exception being the Book of Shadows, because I keep things that are very permanent. So if I've crafted a banishing spell or a spell for protection that I've casted multiple times, and I know that it's going to work the way that I crafted it, tweaks are already done and been finalized, I will put that spell in my Book of Shadows and in my grimoire once I realize that that is useful to me. Same with ritual. If I perform the same full moon ritual that I've performed for 2 or 3 years with adaptations and things already finalized, I'm going to put that in my Book of Shadows. So here is the front of my Book of Shadows. I'm going to move it out of the way for a second, just because I want to make sure that I'm in front of the camera. Yes, I am. Sorry, I'm not really a big fan of editing when I don't have a lot of time. Anyway, so this is my Book of Shadows, and I'm going to flip it around because I'm going to open it. This is my hard copy. So that's Braille in the at the top there. I don't mind reading that. It just says Book of Shadows and when it was created, and it has a very poorly drawn symbols that I created. The rest of it, like I said, is pretty much in progress. I know that's not very exciting, but I do plan to continue to work on it, especially around this time, just because I want to have a lot of organization involved. I wanted to organize it categorically, in addition to by purpose and magical timing, in addition to utilizing moon phases, things like that, in terms of magical timing, in addition to organizing it categorically, say, based on the type of spell that it is, or based on the elements that I've used, such as if I did a lot of spell using the element of water, I would categorize it under water. If I utilized herbs, I would categorize it under herbs and earth, because herbs are related to the earth most of the time. Or, for example, crystals, if I use a lot of crystals, or I can do subcategories, but those are just how I choose to organize it. I do have an outline, I do have a blessing written, and I do have other stuff written as well, and I keep that electronically done until I can finalize all the details. So those are just my tips on organizing and keeping magical books. What are your choices for magical books? Do you have like a scrapbook? Do you have a file on the computer? Do you have it in the cloud? I'm very nervous about putting stuff in the cloud, but I do have it available to me on my note-taking device that I've shown previously in my How I Read as a Blind Witch video. I do keep a lot of that on my note taker because it's easy to access, because I read it using that device, and I read books, so it's easy for me to take notes on those books and finalize those lists, because I'll put those lists in my mirror book because I have my own personal thoughts on it, but I will also have a list in my Book of Shadows as well. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have, please hit the like button, share, subscribe to my channel, and make sure that the bell sound is turned on to all, and I will speak to you all very soon. Many blessings.